Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for a July 1st Christmas in July challenge hosted by Brenda at Rustic and Lace DIY and a guest host that I'm going to edit onto the screen here because I have to film this one ahead a little bit. We are in the middle of our cross-country move, and I wanted to make sure I had a fun video out for all of you. I am going to be working from my 101 scrapbooking ideas and sketchbook challenge. I have picked a sketch from page 86. We're going to be doing the sketch and a card, and this one's going to be a single page layout. For a change of pace, I've done a little something different with this, and I think it would make a perfect final page for any scrapbook album. So let's get going. For those of you who are familiar with my channel, I usually show you what mats I'm using and what the sketch looks like. This one is page 86, and I pulled different elements. You can see I really only have one mat size written on here because there's options. And I like to give my viewers and my scrapbookers that watch my channel options with their pages because I do scrapbook a little differently since I put together so many layouts for my channel. I add my photos later, and I like to be able to have options when I go to add my photos, and I do give you all ideas of where your photos can go on these pages every time. If you're interested in seeing how I scrapbook, there is a video on my channel, How Catherine Scrapbooks. And I have quite a few examples on that of different pages I've done. All right, we're going to start out with a piece of our cranberry cardstock for the base of this page. I have pulled a piece of our red paper that has the, I don't know anymore, the name of all the pages from when I introduced them so long ago. It is what it is. This one has a design on the back, and it has more of a plain darker red on the front, and this is from our tonal pack. So it just has the multicolored reds. And then I also did pull our cardinal paper that has the snowflakes on the back. That one's easy to remember. This one, I'm sure it had a specific name, but honestly, I can't tell you what it is. I'm leaving a 1/4 of an inch here along this left edge of my page. The piece of the red crimson paper was 3.5 inches by 6 inches, and the layering paper of the cardinal paper is 3 inches by 5.5. So I am going to have a 1/4 of an inch all the way around my cardinal paper that's going to get framed out with that red, that's going to get framed out with the cranberry cardstock. So you see a theme here? That is what we're going with. And then with the seasonal sightings collection, I had some scraps, and I'm kind of glad to get to use some, but I am going to be piecing together some elements of this layout, and this is one of them. I've pulled the light gray plaid that has the Christmas plaid on the back, and I'm piecing together 2 scraps to form the mat box. My white piece here is 5.5 inches by 6 3/4 when it's put together. When I have both of these pieces layered together, it is going to be 5 inches by 6 3/4. This top piece is 2 1/4 by 6 3/4, and my bottom piece is 3 1/4 by 6 3/4. And we're just placing those together going across my page. For this green, this was from our designer pack. It kind of has the cork look to the back side of it. And the plaid was also in our designer pack. The cardinals from the designer pack. This is in the tonal pack for the seasonal sightings. And I do have them, what's left of the collection, linked in the description box. Both paper packs were available when I filmed the video, but I don't know hopefully there's still some available if you would like to create this page. Otherwise, there will be a new Christmas collection coming out in the next couple months, or you can substitute in pages from our Christmas cheer collection as well. Seasonal Sightings was our collection from 2022, I believe. So Christmas Cheers 2023, I believe Joy to the World was 2022, if I remember correctly. So every year we get a different Christmas collection, and so you can easily adapt this to that, or you can really adapt it to any of our collections if that's what you would like to do. And I don't usually layer quite so much paper on my layouts, but this one, it just, the sketch was leading me this way, and so this is the direction we're going. Again, on the bottom, you want that 1/4 of an inch margin, if you will, around, or this frame coming around your paper. This bottom piece is 11.5 by 5 inches. And then I have the rest of the screen paper here at 3 inches by 11 inches. So, like I said, it's another great way to utilize up some of those paper scraps if you have them. And if you scrap digitally, you can create this digitally as well. I'm going to give this 1/4 of an inch from the top of our box because I have this to go down towards the bottom here. And this again was another scrap that was in my scrap bin, if you will. It's the same paper I used underneath the cardinal paper up here, and I had punched it already with the poinsettia edge border maker cartridge. I'm going to add a little bit of my repositionable tape along the edges here, and then just a little bit of my regular tape runner through the center, so it's going to stay very firmly on my page. Well, I'm going to line this up with the edge coming in that 1/4 of an inch again. No, actually, I was going to bring this one all the way over to the edge here, because I think that this is just one way to create a little bit of a different look. Line this up just a little bit as well. Ooh. Should be able to rub my finger on that because I want the green poinsettia showing, or I'm sorry, I want the green paper to show through the top layer of poinsettias, and repositionable tape is easy to just rub off with your finger if you have a little bit extra on your pages. Now, we also have laser cut borders that come with this collection, and I took this one with the little birds and the berries, and I snipped it on the left end here because you can see I have the rounded end here. This is where my scissors cut it. I'm going to flip this over. So there's one side that has a little bit more of a snowy look to it. On this one, it was a little bit harder to tell, and one side that has a little bit of a cleaner look to it. And I'm actually going to run this one actually to the edge. Again, just bringing these birds in to our page, but this is going to be the only thing that actually is going to hit the edge of our cardstock, because I also do have a little nub here, and I wanted to cut it in between the two birds and have a little branch from each end. We're going to use the other half of this on our card. And then I also have 2 layers of birds to add here with our laser cut borders, because again, this was influenced by our sketch, and they have I'll show you in a minute. So here, this actually you can probably see a little bit better. This is what I was talking about. One side of this one is a little bit of a cleaner look, and this one has more of a distressed, almost like there's snow falling kind of look. And that's what this one had as well. It's just not as easy to see or as easy to tell when you're looking at the actual border, because it's just a lighter border in general. And the same with this other cardinal as well. I'm going to use some of my repositionable tape first on the one with just the red cardinals, and then the one with the I don't know if they're male and female or juvenile that are not red. I don't remember. My father loves birds and used to talk a lot about birds, but growing up in South Florida, we had more tropical birds, I guess would be the best way to describe it. You definitely could kind of regularly hear parrots from time to time. They're loud. I'll definitely give them that. Okay, and then here comes our other border. And that is it. I think this would be just a perfect end page for your album because Christmas usually comes at the end of the year. So as far as photos go, you can put a vertical photo here, or you can journal, add some lines here, or you can just leave this as a decorative element on your page. You can put a little white box here over part of it and still see the cardinals. I would definitely put a photo here because that's why I did list this one out as a mat on my page. And finally, I would say you could fit a horizontal photo here as well. And then you could also consider putting a journal box or even some of our write-on stickers through here to journal on. Decorative element, birds. You can see where I'm going there, hopefully. And then here is the sketch. And this is where I got the idea to layer the laser cut borders with all the birds. And then this one, I think, was a border sticker from this collection. And that's where I just went ahead and added another laser cut here as well, but added our little poinsettia edge to give it a little extra to it. Okay, so let me know what y'all think, how you like my page here. I will hold it up to the camera for you all. There we go. What do you think? Do you like the options and the colors? I hope so. Let's also put together a card, and I have a little bit of a different card planned for this one. I like to do something a little special for the playlist videos. And I've cut a piece of our cranberry cardstock 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and I scored it at 1/8 of an inch because this is going to become a little bit of an opening for our card. I did pull out one of our blank cards from our blank card kits, and I've also am going to be showing you all our mini tape runner cartridge that'll fit in any of our tape runner holders. Because since we scored this at 1/8 of an inch, you need a really, really thin line of tape to go down this. Either that or you're going to want the precision point adhesive. And I'm going to try to go in as straight of a line as possible inside my score line. Whoops. I shouldn't have lifted that up yet because I wasn't quite done. There we go. Let me get this one little spot again because I want to make sure my card stays stuck together. You can see that little line of tape inside that score mark is right. And our mini tape runner cartridge, or our mini tape runner, is really thin. So you want, and it has the same look as our traditional tape runner with the lines running through it, so it's easy to split, if you will. I also pulled out one of our mats. It's the one that says Noel on it, both directions, but we're going to be using it this direction because this is the direction our card is going to open. And I'm going to use my regular tape runner on that. I'm going to reinforce it with my repositionable tape. So we're kind of using all the tapes for this card. Reinforce the edge that people are going to open, so that way our card doesn't get flappy at all as it ages either. Okay, so first thing, let's put this on our card front, and we want it more towards the bottom here because the card is white and our mat is white. And then we're going to be adding our cardstock to this point that we have up here that's not covered by the mat. I'm getting crooked here somehow. I did take 1/4 of an inch off the top and the bottom of my mat. And so you'll notice I do have, because this was one of our 4x6 mats, we have this little bit of space over here. There's a little seam that our little piece of cardstock is going to fit right into, that we put our 1/8 of an inch. Ooh, that's hard to lift. We'll put our 1/8 of an inch seam on. So when people go to open our card, they're going to see we have this flap, and the flap is going to open, and then they're going to see the Noel. But on the very front of our card, we're going to have a piece of our Cardinal designer paper again that we also used on our layout. And this one is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. So this is going to go where you have about 1/8 of an inch from the right edge of your red cranberry cardstock. And these are is the other, I can't even talk today. These are the other 2 pieces of our laser cut border that I used on the page. I just cut off the 2 birds together because I want to pop them up with some of our foam squares. And it looks like it's going to take about 5 to go across. Oh, this one's going to, yep, that's right about 5 of the small foam squares going across, because I want to pop these up and almost make it look like it's one of our layered border embellishments, that those are already come popped up. And we're going to put this over our, I don't know, the cardinal. I wasn't sure, the not red cardinal, whether it's the female or the juvenile, but I liked that these kind of covered it, and we can still see those pops of red in between. And our other 2 birds here also have the red berries that appear on the card, so it really does look like it is dimensional on the card. How's about that? So you have your card front. We open it up to see the Noel. And let me fold it along our scored edge here to make sure our card does what it needs to do. Make sure that part stays down. And so people will open it, they'll see their Noel, and they'll continue turning. But I also have from our Cardinals punch in my bag. This is from, I don't know, I think it was probably a gift card I taught at the time. And I kept the punch out from the punch. And I think it just looks really cool inside here. So we're going to put this together. It's with our tonal green paper. And we're going to add, again, a little bit of repositionable tape. Oops. And put this back together inside our card, just to give a little extra nod to all of our cardinals that we are using throughout our card. And plus it gives extra interest inside here, and it keeps us with having the cardinals be red, even though our paper is green. So on the punch, the birds are sitting on a branch, so we're going to leave just a tiny bit of space in between. And you can see where you kind of get that little shadow effect of the cardinals, and that's just from the punch out of our cardinals punch. And then inside our card, I have one last piece of paper here. I'm going to corner around this one. My handy dandy corner rounder, just to soften the edges a little bit here. And place this inside our interior flap of our card here. So we're going to place this on the interior flap of our card, just across from where our sentiment is going to go. And I'm going to place it more at the top, because when you're writing, sometimes there's not enough space on this side and you want some space to write on the other side as well. And you can always place your cardinals here as well. You can get a sticker that has a Merry Christmas on it or something like that. But I just kind of wanted to show the simplicity of this one with the cardinals and Christmas. And I think it's, a sign of angels, I believe. Somebody can let me know in the description box as well. Let me know what you think about our shadow cardinals and our little extra fold in our card. Please let me know which was your favorite project that I showed you today. Thank you again so much to Brenda and our guest host for hosting today. Until next time.